Alright guys, welcome to the new video. I am your host, your only god. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Apex Explained. And if you're enjoying my content so far, I appreciate the support. So don't forget to hit that like button and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. I upload every Monday and Friday between 8 and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also find me on Twitch Tuesdays from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Fridays starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Without further ado, in Episode 2 of Apex Explained, we're taking a look at Bloodhound. And as we begin the video, I've passed off the Jump Master duties to my partner so that I can talk about how to spot enemies who may be landing with you. First though, let's take a look at passing off Jump Master. If you have a look at the on-screen control prompts in the bottom center there, you'll notice that you've got a couple of options. R1 to ping, that's for telling your team your intended landing place or spotting enemies, and you've got circle, which as Jump Master is for passing the job to a team member. Now, if you just press circle, that's not going to get the job done. You have to hold circle and wait for the little meter to fill. Watch for that meter right behind the word relinquish. And then you'll have successfully passed off the job of Jump Master. And you'll notice your on-screen control prompts change. Now you can hold circle to launch solo, that is, to not be stuck to your Jump Master in a tandem jump, and be free to jump when and where you choose. I suggest only doing that after you've got a few jumps under your belt. And you still have R1 to ping, but now instead of ping, it says suggest, because you're not in charge. So wherever you'd like to go is merely a suggested location, not an intended destination. Once you've launched, if you're not the Jump Master, you can use your control sticks the same way you would if you were standing on the ground to look all around you. This allows you to see if any enemies are heading for the same destination as you and your squad, and if so, you can either call it out in voice comms, or you can put a ping on the map by aiming where the enemies are or where they appear to be going, and double tapping R1, which will trigger one of the enemy-sighted voice lines. This is very helpful to your team, and especially the Jump Master. It helps them to know that they're taking you to a safe location or not. Next, we're going to have a look at Bloodhound's L1 ability. It's a scan and ping ability, which allows a conical-shaped scan of the area in front of Bloodhound, and if an enemy is inside its reach, it will ping and reveal them with a red silhouette. If there are no enemies in the range of the scan, however, it will also tell you that. Keep in mind, though, that the range isn't that far. A great feature of the ability is that if you didn't see anyone, you have a way to double-check to be sure you didn't just miss it. Keep your eye on the top center of the screen and watch for the banner to pop up that says, in this case, no hostiles. Now, if there is a hostile, the banner will reflect that by saying hostiles or hostile and giving you a count, and it'll be a reddish-orange color. Now let's have a look at our inventory and using items. Here I will access my inventory by pressing Options on the controller, and we will see my inventory pop up on the screen as an overlay with the gameplay behind it. In the upper half of the inventory screen, we'll see my weapons and ammunition count for each weapon. So if we had an extended mag, those counts would go up, which we do see in a second. We also see all of the available attachment slots for the weapons, and in the lower half of the screen we see my carry slots, which hold throwables such as frags, thermites, and arc stars. And these slots are also where we find our consumables such as health and shield replenishing items, and we find ammunition there, which stacks. Depending on the type of ammunition, the number in a stack will vary. In these slots we also find additional consumables such as Ultimate Accelerant, which I am using in this clip. The Ultimate Accelerant does exactly what it sounds like. It accelerates the rate at which your ultimate builds, and is best used by characters who have an ult, which can help the team. So it's not really something you'd probably want to use often as Bloodhound, but I did so that I could get the ult, to get the footage, to show you guys. Last we have the wearables at the bottom below our carry slots. We've got helmet, armor, knockdown shield, and backpack. You can see here I don't currently have a backpack. You can tell because that slot is darkened or grayed. You can see the color of my helmet and armor are white, which is basic, as is the knockdown shield I have. So we've got a real basic bitch setup here. All we're missing is the pumpkin spice latte. One additional very helpful piece of information you can gain from this screen is what are your teammates wearing. If you direct your attention to the left side, you'll notice that Weasel's items are listed next to his name and health bar. He currently has no armor, no helmet, a basic bitch knockdown shield, and backpack. Yes, even the backpack is variable. Those extra carry slots, which for me are locked, unlock based on the level of your backpack. So right now, Weasel has 2 more open slots than I do, and if you get a blue bag, you get 2 more, and a purple or gold bag opens all the slots for use. We'll get deeper into equipment on another video, though, so let's keep moving for now. Extended mags. I mentioned those a moment ago. This basic white mag slightly increases your ammo capacity, as it says on the pop-up. A few things to note about the pop-up. First, you don't have to do anything to get this pop-up other than get next to the item and look at it. So that's nice. No button to memorize to get all of this free information. Second, you can customize this in the menu and make it condensed. Again, I suggest you don't do that until you know what you're doing and have most of this stuff memorized. I never bothered changing it to condensed because I like the information it provides, especially when new things come out. It's nice to not have to go change my setting and get used to the look of this all over again. Next, and very important, this pop-up tells you if the item is compatible with your weapon or not. See, there at the bottom, it has a picture of the gun and says replace. Then, shows below any item you already have equipped that this one will replace. Or as it does now, it says empty when you have no item equipped. The pop-up also gives you a basic description and control instructions, including reminding you of the option to ping it for your teammates if it's something you think they might need or want. Now, when you equip an extended mag, you should reload your gun right after doing so. That way, you're walking around with the increased available ammo in your magazine for the moment you find a fight, and sometimes those extra few bullets can make all the difference between winning and losing a gunfight. You'll notice the increase in mag size denoted by the ammo count in the icon for the weapon located in the bottom right corner, and often on the digital display of the back of the weapon itself. Now, let's talk ultimate ability. Bloodhound's ultimate ability is Beast of the Hunt, and it allows them to see the world in black and white, and highlights in red any entity that is killable, as well as any enemy tracking information such as footsteps and actions. It does take some getting used to because the visual change is so drastic, but once you do, you'll find that you can really get an edge in a fight with it, especially if you're fighting with a Bangalore or Caustic who have smoked or gassed the area. Your ult will allow you to see through the haze and still hit your targets. We don't see any enemies this time around, however, I wanted you to hear the sounds the ultimate makes when it begins and ends, because these are something to be aware of. Let's take a listen.
I designed it to hurt.
Got about...
Alright, so, I hope you could hear what I was talking about there. I do apologize for the little bit of in-game chat that was mixed in, but it wasn't too bad. You should have heard a roaring sound to start the ult, and a growling sound indicating it was winding down. Your enemies can hear this, so it takes away some of your ability to be sneaky. So you need to be aware of that and plan accordingly. A quick couple of notes about flyers. They're killable. As you can see, it was red in the Beast of the Hunt mode, and when I shot it, I did not kill it, but I shot it once to get it on the move, and after 3 flaps of its wings, I shot it again to get it to release the death box it was holding, which contains loot. Again, make a note, you only need to shoot them twice to get the loot. Once to get them moving, and once after it's flapped its wings 3 full times, then it will release the box. And a fun fact, the box will either bear the name of an opponent from the game with their items inside, or it will bear the name of one of your friends with random items inside. Despite it not being necessary to kill a flyer to get the loot, you can kill them, and you may find that people do tend to kill some of the ones on the ground in cages in order to keep them quiet, since they will make a lot of racket when you're near them, thus giving your position away to enemies. Now let's take a look at how to swap items when your inventory is full. If you find an item that you want, but you have no more space left, you will need to drop something to pick up the new item or swap for something. Here I'm going to show you how to swap something. While looking at the item you want, hold square, which will bring up your inventory menu, locate the item or items you want to swap, and put your cursor on the item you're giving up, and press X. You can see the controls listed on the pop-up there. Square to drop, X to swap. It's so easy, it even rhymes. A piece of advice here, When you first drop into the game, you're going to be picking up a lot of things you don't need. In fact, you'll probably just be picking up everything you see at first. So you'll want to take a moment as soon as you safely can, open up your inventory and drop those things you don't need. And you probably want to keep tabs on your inventory throughout the game so you can be sure you've got a good balance of supplies at all times. You don't want to get caught late game short on supplies. Next, we're going to take a look at Beast of the Hunt in a fight, with enemies and action markers present in the environment. So keep an eye out for those markers on the ground, on objects which can be used, such as zip lines, and watch for the red silhouettes of enemies.
It's popping off. Those guys made enough noise for long enough that people are just flocking to this area, I bet.
Excellent. Well, if you see them, you can use your ult.
He knew I was recording footage for this video. Way to call me out, Weasel. Now, a quick comment on strategy in this upcoming fight. I had intended to circle around the rocks to the right and get behind the enemies on the other side, but I made my ping and turned to see that Weasel was about 100 meters or more behind me in the opposite direction, so I do turn around and try to regroup with him.
Two on me, I'm down.
Yeah, I'm too far away and there's too many people in between us. Someone healed up over here and then ran into the storm?
Or down in those buildings.
They definitely ran into the storm.
They definitely did not, but at the angle I was looking from and in the heat of the moment, it seemed that way at the time.
Very good.
Used them.
Right there, I should have used my L1 ability. I heard footsteps to my right on the other side of the rock. If I had pinged those enemies, I might have known what was coming. But you can't win them all. Hopefully, though, this video can help you to improve your game and win a few more. Now, I want to share just a couple of fun facts about Bloodhound here as we wrap up. The game lore tells us that Bloodhound is the greatest hunter and tracker in all of the Outlands, which is the universe in which the game is set, along with the Titanfall series of games. And Bloodhound is a non-binary individual using they and them pronouns. It is great to see the developers and writers including some diversity, and a hint for a future video, Bloodhound isn't the only LGBTQ character. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you on the next one, and as always, good game!